What is your not suitable for work fun fact about yourself? I once had to go to the hospital for what was diagnosed as a post-orgasmic migraine. Yeah, I had that happen, which kicked off a, so far, 9-month headache that won't stop. Turns out I have 3 ruptured discs in my neck, but why it didn't bother me till that one particular time, man shrugging. When you said 9-month headache that won't stop, my mind immediately thought you got pregnant and now 9 months later, the headache that won't quit is the child you gave birth to. I mean, makes sense. My pee turns toilets purple. It was the freakiest thing when it started happening and my doctor couldn't figure out what was happening. I would use a toilet and then a few hours later brownish spots would appear and those spots would eventually turn a purplish color. My wife and I figured it had to be something to do with my medication because it only started happening when I switched to new meds. Eventually, after a lot of research, we found a paper in a medical journal that mentioned that in very rare cases the urine of patients who took my medication would have had interactions with various household cleaners. That interaction can happen on the film of cleaning solution residue on toilets and turn brown, red or even purple. That's effing freaky. Somewhat similarly, my blood turned an awful greenish brown on a migraine med. Oh god, what medication does that? I'm still trying to find a med that works for my migraines. If I get put on whatever medication did that, I'd like to know so I won't freak out. Google is saying it may be Imitrex/sumatriptan, which can cause a condition called sulfhemoglobinemia. Holy crap, that's my go-to migraine med, and never knew about that. My testicles are drastically different sizes. Like a golf ball and a macadamia nut. Edit, I appreciate the concern but nothing to worry about. They've been like that as long as I can remember. I saw a doctor when I was a teenager and he said there was likely an injury to the smaller one causing the larger one to grow extra for it during puberty. Pics or it's not real. Got to pay the scrot tax. The former Prime Minister, Taoiseach, of Ireland has touched my penis. In a medical context, of course. Edit, well, this blew up. Thanks for the awards, wow. For context, this was about 12 or 13 years ago when he was doing his GP placement in my local practice. I needed something checked out, and as I had worked in that practice doing archive filing during the summer as a kid, and my ma'am also worked there as a secretary, Ireland is tiny, I didn't want to go one of the regular docs as they all knew me. So I went to him, he then referred me to a specialist, who, again coincidentally, happened to be my best mate's father. I then had surgery twice after that to fix the issue. What I will say about him is that, while I, like most Irish people, have a number of things relating to his politics that I'm not a fan of, I will say that he was especially kind to my ma'am after my dad had a severe heart attack a few years ago, and that counts for a lot for me. Hey dude, remembered me? Yeah, you touched my peen once, now I heard you have an empty position in the parliament, I'd be happy to fill that spot and avoid a scandal. What the F? I'm never going to forget this statement. I don't know if this is not suitable for work, but when I was born my penis was so crooked they had to completely rearrange it in surgery. They said that if it was left as it was, my dick would point at a 60 or so degree angle to the left and that urinating would have been quite the task. Did they do some upgrades during the process? 90% elongation. Dual hydraulic actuators. 10x enhanced thermal vision. 2 SAMs. Kevlar protection. 0 human emotions. 100% cold killing machine. 5% pleasure. 50% pain. And 100% reason to remember the name. I'm so damn mad I came too late into this. Ring 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 banana duong. I have breast implants from having breast cancer. They get cold and it's built in air conditioning. Username checks out. Does yours? Centipede. Yes, but it metamorphosizes into a beautiful butter phallus. I think that Pokémon is banned in America. Whenever I go pee, I just brush my pubes. Like a scratch, or you got a little pube comb with you? Maybe a tiny hair straightener too. At the height of experiencing prolonged concussion symptoms, I masturbated and felt a jolt, like a shock of electricity, travel up my body to the part of my brain where a light fixture fell on my head. My symptoms instantly subsided. Post-nut clarity achieved. Gym teacher voice, just wank it off. Put someone's brain damage away on your Tinder bio. I would swipe right on that. An ant bit my testicles once while I was having sex at a hiking trail. In case anyone is wondering, it was awful. And now that testicle can lift 50 times your body weight. Why were you having sex with an ant? If ants can lift 100 times their own weight, imagine the grip they could have on a tiny little peener. I feel like there's a connection between that comment and your username. How do I delete someone else's comment? Just delete the app, bro. A bee sting me 2 weeks ago on my dick. It hurt, bad. My dick is swollen to date. Edit. For those asking, there is a beehive near my window and my underwear was drying on the window edge. A bee must have gone in the underwear. Hate the itch, don't mind the swelling. I got circumcised at 25 after slicing my foreskin and a vasectomy at 30. My Frankenbeans hate me. So, do you have less feeling after the circumcision? Though I imagine having it done late in life isn't the same as when you're a baby. I can answer for that too. I still am sensitive, but last longer as well. It does feel different than before, but in a way, that it sometimes feels kind of numb on the scar. The healing wasn't too big of a deal, 24 hours wrapped in bandage and then some cream dressing. Worst part is, that loose boxers are terrible to wear now, way too sensitive. During the healing process, the tip of the penis actually is scaling due to it drying, was scary but normal apparently. Edit. I was circumcised last year at 22, after my foreskin tour. My head gets dry in the winter too and can scale and crack if I don't use moisturizer on it. Vaseline works best, in my opinion. Good quality cocoa butter also works well. Well, I guess there's my X-rated fact. I once was the dude the lesbian chick had sex with who upon having sex with me decided she does in fact like girls. I take this as both a compliment and an insult. I was that girl once. My friend was questioning if he was gay or bi, and he was very attractive, so we hooked up. He was fine with the BJ, but lost it during sex. Yeah, he was gay. I use my right hand for everything, except for masturbating. I just can't with my right hand. My ex actually said the same thing. He is right-handed but only used his left hand to jack off. It's because most righties use their right hand for the mouse. I had a friend who was fascinated with this phenomenon, and asked tons of people this specific question. He claimed there was a sharp divide based on who grew up with internet porn. Those who did jerked with the non-dominant hand. Those who did not jerked it with the dominant hand. Edit. I did not think this through and now know entirely too much about Reddit's habits. I would be very surprised if this turned out not to be the case. I can do it with either, but if I'm watching porn always use left, if not then usually both with left still slightly dominant. Well yeah, your dominant hand is for tightening the neck belt. My dad was having sex with a hospital nurse while my mom was giving birth to me. That's long been used for the many fights and reasons my mom hates men. This is insanely effed up. How did she found out? That's not something a child would ever try to follow up on, but I'd assume they got caught. It's a hospital with hundreds of people milling about. Ooh boy. They went in for a delivery and he'd left a package. Did the nurse know? How did he seduce her so quickly? Op's dad said he was Dr. Mantis Toboggan and then dropped a Magnum condom in front of the nurse while flashing a roll of hundreds. On occasion my dreams are so vivid that I mistake them as reality, and only realize it's not so after I wake up. The rare times when I have the urge to pee in the morning after stupidly drinking liters of water before I sleep, my dreams shift to being in the toilet where I pee, my brain and body get synchronized to my dream and I end up pissing in my pants. Weird ass embarrassing experience, and I'm in my 20s. Probably a consequence of stress. I've been lucid dreaming for about a decade now. Never, ever go to the bathroom in a dream. Ever. Edit, my top comment is now about peeing in your dreams. Nice. To those asking in replies how to go about lucid dreaming, I'll give you the rundown. I have, on average, probably one lucid dream a night. I sometimes don't have any, or at least, don't remember them, and sometimes I have multiple, so I think this is a good happy medium. First things first, you should find what works for you, and know it may not work for others. I started simply by recording my dreams somewhere to commit them to memory, a dream journal, writing them down, a text document. Even talking about them in general, or making stories with what you remember from a dream is the basis. It tells your subconscious to keep a hold of the memories in a dream more often, and for longer, so you can put them down somewhere in greater detail. It snowballs for a while, and your dreams will likely become more vivid, which tends to make realizing you're in a dream much, much easier. From there it's dream control, which people usually think is instead lucid dreaming. The way I see it, lucid dreaming is having dreams where you are aware of being in a dream. Dream control is another thing, it just usually requires lucidity to work properly. As for how to control the dreams, again, it's very personalized. Those dreams are your mind's, and no one else's, unless shared dreams are a thing, that'd be neat. Figure out how to do different things in any way you want, what works for you, works for you. I'd be surprised to find other people that can teleport to a specific person by doing an instant transmission from DBZ with one hand, and tapping a specific part of their head with another, for example. That was introduced to me a week or so ago, thanks to some NPC who was helping me reach a particular person I hadn't seen for a while. What I'm trying to say is, both getting lucid dreams and controlling those lucid dreams is a very varied experience. Each person could have it differently, and the very popular techniques can also work. So many people have used it successfully, so it's very likely to work for you, right? That sort of mentality is what makes the common methods work so well. Figuring out how to do specific things in terms of dream control is like a cryptic little puzzle, and it feels very satisfying once you have a go-to method. Dreams can be many things, a great source of inspiration, a good laugh, or even a treasured memory. But don't forget you have a real life, too, and that should take priority no matter what. I have 2 buttholes. Update, I am sorry to those of you that feel misled, the second hole above my anus is inactive, and there has been an inquisition or interrogation into my anuses, anuses, no idea how to pluralize it. Second one isn't an anus, it's a hole in the crack of my ass that serves no purpose. One person suggested smuggling, but it would need to have very high cost to density to make sense. Anyway, thanks for the interest. Whoa, don't talk about your kids like that. That would be terrible. I won't even meet the second one until June. I don't have a gag reflex, which hasn't been great the few times I've actually choked in something. Same. I got a strep test yesterday and didn't gag. The nurse commented on it and joked I must have been popular in college. Also, can you put weird stuff in your throat like knives or spoons? I feel like I just walked into the women's room by mistake and heard things I wasn't supposed to. Smile and wave, boys, smile and wave. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to be the first to know about Red Rabbit Reader's new videos. If you like our videos, please like them on YouTube and share them with your friends. We welcome your comments below. Press to start another of our videos.